Always first in line for the feed. Meat chickens. Imagine that. Okay, well, we're finally cleaning out this old shed. We're gonna finish the privacy fence all the way around to probably right about there. And we're gonna get our two little chicken runs put in place. Be one here, there'll be one here. And there'll be one, you can see the stakes. There'll be one there. And that is basically for our normal egg laying chickens and stuff like that. And then over here, we're just gonna be raising our meat birds. Have a door there and a door there. Fun stuff. Anyway, finally getting on that part. So let's hope it goes quick. Hopefully, and right. What you got there?
A loofah.
We grew a loofah. Look at that. How cool is that? It's got seeds in there?
Uh-huh.
Let me see. Oh, that is so cool.
If it dries a little more, they'll just pour out. But hold on a minute.
Cool deal. Is there more than one?
Yeah.
So how do you know when they're ready?
Just when they're big, and they're actually easier to peel when they're green.
Oh, really? If you can break it off?
I can break it off.
So you said I can use one of these in the shower now?
Yep. Well, after they're dry. They go dry.
Are there any more on there growing? Yeah, there's one right there.
Yeah, there's a few more. So this is what it looks like. It's really fibrous.
So don't eat it?
No, you don't eat it.
Unless you want to really cleanse your colon. What do people use these for?
Bathing. Use them to, like a sponge, you slice it up after it's dry. Slice it up in pieces that you, like this one, since it's so narrow, we probably cut it about right there.
Okay.
And you use this like to take a bath or wash dishes, or, I mean, it'll replace your washcloths.
Cool. How long will it take for this one to dry out?
Just a couple of days.
So that was easier than the other way?
Yeah. The other way, these little ridges that come through here get really dry and they're hard to pull off.
You done this before?
Yes.
Did you ever grow with this before?
I can't remember if we did, but somebody I know grew them and they would give them to us and let us peel them.
Now, if you want to harvest the seeds out of these, do you need to wait till they're like that?
Yeah, they're easier once they're dry. You'll be able to hear them rattle.
Well, okay. Will they rattle on the vine?
If you leave them to dry, they will. It's just easier when they're green. So we'll set it up here in the sun and let it dry.
Too cool.
And we'll let this one finish drying so we can get the seeds out of it.
Awesome.
Smells like bananas.
No, it doesn't.
Like green bananas.
All right. Here's a quick little review of where we are. As you can tell, we've been putting up more privacy fence. The other thing we like to say is do what you can with what you have where you're at. Well, obviously we had to buy the fencing material. We didn't have that. But we've been fencing and fencing and fencing. So now we've got the backdrop privacy fence of where our chickens and our grower chickens, our meat chickens are going to go. Because currently our meat chickens are in there with them. In fact, I see there's one right over there. No, it's available. Okay, so we've got this part of the privacy fence finally put up. It goes around the back corner of the yard. See, we connected it to the other fence. This is going to be where we're going to raise the chickens for meat, kind of a brooder shed, stuff like that. And then over here is basically we're going to have our chickens for eggs, and there's going to be a little chicken house right here that we'll be able to access outside the fence for the eggs, hopefully. So got this much done. Got my nice cute little cutout for the tree there. We'll have to put some wire or something around that, and then we're ready to go. So check it out. Here we go. Okay, so here we are putting the top rails onto the posts. And the main reasons why I did that first instead of just putting the fence around is because of that right there, because that pole was loose in the ground. We didn't actually concrete a couple of these poles because we didn't think they would be holding that much weight. So we ended up having to put these on first so they would kind of hold the poles where they're supposed to be. You can kind of see my look of frustration, wishing I had concreted those into the ground. So I had to ask for some help to come out here and help me keep that thing straight while I tried to get it screwed together. And hopefully, once I got this pole set right, all the other ones would be easy to get fixed up. And of course, it's always great to have great help. We had to spend a lot of time just making sure this was straight, so I would call that a win, a success, considering what could have happened. Now I'm continuing to go around the side, just kind of setting myself little blocks under there to set it on, just to make sure everything's level, and then I'll cut off the excess. Hey, that one's level on the first try. Wow. Okay, that could have hurt. And unfortunately, sometimes when you're doing these jobs like this, you kind of have to do everything one thing at a time, just to kind of figure it out as you go, I guess. And that little skipped area there is where the doorway is going to be. Well, and now I got some real help out here. Guess it really has to be straight now since the foreman's out here. Well, we'll see. I even got a little lucky on this board. I didn't have to cut it to make sure it fit. Well, really it goes past the pole a little bit, but you can't see it because the privacy fence, so I guess I kind of snuck one through. Okay, now it's time to roll out the wire. Already got it stapled on one end, now we gotta straighten it out past the post and then we're gonna stretch it. And since we're going to fold it under the 2x4s we put up, kind of have to cut some of this out right here so we can make it fit. Basically, it's nailed to the front of the post, but to the back side of the top rail and the bottom rail that we've got to install. But this way, because of that first post being so wobbly and unlevel, we can make sure the fence is strong and be able to hold up anything we need it to do. So now I'm just making sure I have enough staples in that first post to hold it when we decide to start stretching it. So since we don't have the normal equipment that you would use to tighten a fence with, Mama Sita came up with the idea of using a couple of fence pickets and some ratchet straps. And you'll see this in a couple of our earlier videos too. But it works quite well, especially on a welded wire fence like this. It's really not that strong in the first place. Good job, Mama Sita. So the fenced post around the corner is concreted in, so we went ahead and decided to run the ratchet straps around the front of the corner post, since it looks like it's going to be pretty sturdy now that we have the 2x4s holding it in place. And yeah, it worked just perfectly. It might have actually been fun having this music playing in the background while we were building the fence. It sort of builds and builds and makes you feel like you have a sense of accomplishment. Alright, now we got to get the rest of the staples in this thing so we can take the ratchet straps off and see where we're at. And hey, what do you know, it didn't fall down, so good job, Mama Sita and Bearded Wonder. And now we'll stretch out this last piece in just one big piece, and we'll actually cut out the fencing from the doorway afterwards. It makes it a whole lot easier than trying to cut in two pieces of fence instead of just rolling out one. Well, ran out of battery, but here's the finished product from the next day, and just wait, we'll get that coop up here soon. This is our little mama and her week-old babies. And I was out working in the yard and I started hearing peeping noises, and apparently one of her eggs that she abandoned hatched a week later. So we had this tiny little one that was out in the chicken yard by itself. stuck her with Mama, and Mama took her, so good deal. We have an extra one. That bird's name is Lucky, by the way, so hopefully Lucky will be around for a while. One of our little bantams. Tiny, tiny.